Thank you guys for joining me for this virtual hangout. I'm super excited because I get to have a conversation with Beverly Adelberry. And we're going to be talking about, first of all, we have a lot of stuff in common that we could talk about. But for this, we're going to kind of keep it to talking about business. And the thing that I love that she and I share as far as language is really helping women move from idea to impact, right? So that's what we're really going to be focused on today. And we will be breaking down really how she built her business. So for a lot of you who are coaches and who really have like a passion to help people, you'll be able to hear Beverly's story about how she is building her business. And she definitely has some really big goals on what she's going to continue to do. So definitely you want to watch this episode. So thank you, Beverly, so much for joining me today. She is at Coach Lady CEO. So I'll give you a chance to introduce yourself and just tell us kind of how you got started.
Thank you so much. I just love connecting with new people and fresh interviews and my name is Beverly. My business is Lady CEO. And really how I got started was back in 2014-ish. I had just finished school. I graduated with a BA in psychology, and I knew that that wasn't enough. I felt like I just wanted to do more than counseling. I just really wanted to connect with people and just help people. That was always my role when I was growing up. Just being supportive. And so it ended up being where I found life coaching through Google. I don't know how I came across it. I just found it or it found me. And I said, that is really what I want to do. I want to help, just help anyone to get unstuck, and just get their goals accomplished, get their goals done. And so the process really began through building my home. I had the goal of and the dream of I just wanted my home built. And I really didn't understand it until I lived the process of, the contractors and all the paperwork and everything. And it just really showed me that everything is step by step and it takes time. And so I learned through the things that I need. And even with that, I found out also some self-love for me and just finding out who is Beverly as the adult Beverly, not Beverly as, the child or who used to be friend. And so I found that and found, just I would make checklists and goals and how can I marry the two? And I said, you know what, this is what I want to do. Not just to help women achieve goals or not just to help women with their self-care, but just do like I did, marry the two and still be, still win, still be on top of their A game.
So the thing that we didn't discuss is the fact that we both went to school for psychology, because I did my bachelor's in psychology. And one thing I'll tell you, which is kind of like, which other people wouldn't understand, is when we go into that field of psychology, they're absolutely preparing us for advanced degrees and like doing coaching in a specific way. So the thing that I heard, which most people on the outside wouldn't understand, is that you had to really understand what it is you wanted to accomplish and kind of break off the track of what you
Absolutely.
were taught to do, right? Because
Yeah.
I had a struggle early in my career because I'm like, no, if you're doing something, because I also have a master's in counseling psych, right? So basically, I just drank more of the Kool Aid. And so it held me back, though. It held me back as a business owner because
Mhm.
I didn't necessarily want to work in the parameters of that field, and where I felt called to work, I didn't understand how to create that on my own because school taught me go to school, get the more advanced degree, now get this license, now get this certificate. Now. And so
Mhm.
then you just end up in school like your whole life. And so
Right.
I thought it
Right.
was great that you pointed out I did get the degree. And then I also chose to do something different because other people will hear that and say, oh, well, you study psychology, so life coaching is like a natural, easy step for you, but it mentally isn't. We're not trained to think that way. It's kind of like thinking of a medical doctor just saying, I'm going to go and do stuff, in this like more non-traditional way. They're not trained that way. So I think that's an important lesson. Um, that women can learn from you, even through your life example, that you don't have to follow every single thing that they're like training you, especially in school, like training you
Right.
to do. Absolutely, just go out and create your own path. So that is great to hear. I did read that. I think you wrote it right, but when you were saying it, I was like, oh, she definitely was like making a bold move because I was just like, what about the certification? I'm sure you were thinking that stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like you said, the psychology field, it has so many opportunities and so many other different outlets. But within coaching, it does as well, but it's not the same in a sense. And so just making that bold move and just knowing that, there's another path, and I
Yes.
feel that I'm called to.
Yes. Yeah, that's great. So how did you really choose the industry or the niche that you're in?
The industry or niche that I'm in is productivity coaching. And so it really developed not probably about 2 years ago. I just wanted to just get goals done, just achieve goals. I've always, everyone says, "Oh, you always have these goals," or I get phone calls from family members and friends, and they're like, "What should I do? Which choice should I make? You're good at that stuff. You're good at telling me which path or what's the next step." And so I say, I think that is something. It is something that I'm good at, and giving good advice on and listening, and helping with that. So I said, productivity is a lot. And there's a lot of grounds to cover. And I felt like just with the support that I've given to family and friends, and just really that's how it really got started. Just helping others, seeing the choices that they have, and to let them know that they do have choices,
Yes.
even if it's just to create your own lane. um, and that's pretty much where it stemmed from.
Yes. That's important too. So, yes, understanding that you have options. That's something that I teach on as a business coach is helping people realize that you can customize your business. You don't have to follow the status quo, do what everyone else has done. You absolutely have the right and the power and the ability to figure out how to do it your way. So I love that like you would set your goals, and something you said was like everything is step by step, like whether it's like building a house, building a business, planning to go back to school, whatever it is, like everything is like take the first step and then keep moving forward.
Move forward. Hmm.
Yes. So, okay, awesome. So we talked a bit about like where your business is now and the things that you are doing. So can you share with them about your awesome journals?
Yes, it is. It is. I have three self-published journals. Lady CEO, which is a self-titled journal, and it's all about love, health, and wealth. And it breaks down into some affirmations. Each one has an affirmation and also a couple of coaching questions, maybe one or two coaching questions, just to really help guide versus just free writing in a journal just based on love, health, and wealth. I wanted to make it as specific as possible. That is my oldest baby. That baby is about 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
I had that dream in my head. I still have my old notebook that I would just write affirmations down. And so I didn't want to publish it until I knew it had a more, defined reason for it to being published that could help make that impact. My second journal is Boss Lady, specifically for women that are bosses, women that have their own businesses, and just really breaking it down, planning out your week, planning your meeting, writing some notes, and then having a checklist. Maybe there's some things that you need to do in order to get prepared for the meeting or even after the meeting, and just a reflection, just how did you do and how did it go, and what's the next step that you need to take. And my last baby is Manifest. Manifest is for the everyday woman, just to really help track down your goals and what goals do you want to breathe life into, and to help just really track it day by day, and giving them some. I think I did put a few affirmations in there, but it's not as much as the Lady CEO one. It's more so of just someone just writing out their manifestation, to seeing it come to life.
That's awesome. So I'm going to share a story of my journaling because it was so powerful. So I write in a lot of journals. I think a lot of women do, and especially entrepreneurial people. Like literally, I'm going to show you. This is so crazy. You'll be like, girl, this is just like what I can grab that's like right under my desk. And there's others that I didn't pick up. Like, I'm not even kidding. They're like got piles, right? So one day I was looking for something that I knew I wrote. And I went back to my journal and I had some pages where I was like writing kind of like some bigger goals for my life. And I would do this all the time. And I wrote it, and I also pray over it. And I'm like doing, when I'm fasting and all of that. So I had forgotten about this, but this was things that I really desired. So I'm looking at the page and I'm reading it kind of like, who writes this kind of stuff as goals? Like it was like a certain amount of money I wanted to make. I wanted my kids in private school. I wanted it was just stuff that at that point in my life was kind of like, this is normal. This is like the normal of my life. And I am like way beyond this. And then I remember when I looked at the date, I was like, we were in so much transition in my life. I wasn't sure how I was going to get these kids into private school because my mind was stuck on like, that's going to be so expensive. And, the oldest one is about to go to college and the younger two have to get into private school. But everything that I tried between the public school and the private school that we settled on was awful. Like my kids are like super smart, and literally a month or two into school, I was just like, this is not cutting it. Like they either need to be skipped right now or I'm going to have to find another school. And they're like, oh, we don't really know them and we don't know what they are capable of. And the beginning of school is always easier. I'm like, yeah, but where you're going, they can do this. We do this stuff at home. Like you're not doing anything close to what they're capable of. And so it was so frustrating. My youngest daughter, by the time she was in 6th grade, which is when I found this private school, she had been in 5 schools because every year pretty much we had to go because it was just not working. So we tried Catholic, charter, all this stuff. So at the time when I wrote it, it was something that I had no idea how I was going to achieve. But when I read it, not only were my kids in this awesome private school, and I'm paying like, I have 2 kids in this private school. I'm not even gonna tell you the cost. It's like, girl,
I
but
come
I'm
from a
only
teaching
paying like,
background, so I can imagine. I know.
and I'm also in the Washington D.C. area. Where are you?
I'm in the Georgia area.
So I will tell you, school up here is like more than what people pay in college. Um, like it's kind of like you're at like that 15 to $20,000 school, and then it jumps to the $40,000 school.
Uh-huh.
So clearly, we're at the more expensive level of school for 2 kids too.
Yeah.
And so I'm only paying a fraction of that cost. My kids are in that school. They are doing so well.
Oh, that's good.
And it's really that I found, we were able to find like the perfect fit. Outside of that, I've helped so many other families who like watched me really kind of struggle, especially with my youngest daughter, who I said had so many transitions, like struggle with that. And I wrote it. I wrote it down, and I said, this is what I want. And I have to stay focused on like, there is a good school. I'm not going to be, yes, we already had 3 schools, but maybe this 4th school is it. No, maybe this 5th school. And it was heartbreaking to go through. But now, for the fact that she's been in the same school from 6th grade, she's entering 9th grade, and she is happy. This is where my son is in he did all 4 years of high school here, and
Nice.
he's about to graduate, and they have so many options. I mean, it's like a blessing, like I guess maybe for your manifest notebook, that you really do have to write this down. So I remember that journal experience, because when I read it, I'm like, I mean, who wants to make this amount of money per month? But it's because I wanted to close one business that was very lucrative, and I didn't know what else I was going to do. And so I was just aiming to make just this like certain amount that was going to keep my house afloat in the transition. So yes, that journaling is so, so powerful.
Yes, it really is.
Yes. So what made you like want to write journals? Like, I know it absolutely helps people with the productivity. Is that kind of your main reason?
It is, but also, I used to write. I found some. I just threw some away back from high school. Some that I had in high school of, the guy that I wanted to marry, and it's just the things that you know my standards, and just some goals that I had personally. For me, I've always wanted to have a business. I just didn't know what back then, and so I was just writing down like those notebooks you showed. I just would just write down, and so it really helped me to get whatever I was struggling with mentally or emotionally, or even not just the struggles, but praising myself. It just helped really gave me, that to just have out on paper and just to reflect back on, to say, you know what, girl, you did that. That's the goal
Yeah.
that you wanted to do, and look at you, you did it. And two, it's fun to see it, especially if it's the same goal that I have had for a long time. And I'm like, I've been having the same goal. I need to get on this now. It's not changing. That means it needs to be done. I need to do it. So it's a personal feel to it, but also it because I know what it did for me personally. I just feel like it would help somebody else that may be, on the same track as I was.
Yes. So I coach as a business coach, coaching people to a certain income, right? Which I aim for the 100K mark in your business. And I always tell people, your desire to have a successful business isn't going to go away. Like, you're just going to keep thinking about it and rehashing it and rethinking it. So you might as well just basically you owe it to yourself to take the time and figure out how to make this work and make it profitable. Because what I see a lot of women do is we sacrifice so much of ourselves to pour into the business, but then we don't then we're like doing everything for free or giving everything away or undercharging. And I'm like, no, like your gifts and your talents are worth so much more. Not to say that you should just, raise your prices just for the sake of raising, but understand the value that you are adding to other people's life.
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
I agree.
Awesome. So we have the journals, and you guys definitely can find out about that at Coach Lady CEO. But I wanted to ask you, like, where are you planning to grow your business? Like, what is your next step or your ultimate goal for this?
My ultimate goal is to create a membership. That's something that I've had on my mind and in my notes for a while, just to have just to reach more women, just a membership that will help the everyday woman, but also maybe she has, an idea that she wants to turn into a business, moving from, impact, idea to impact, and just really how can she get started, and also too helping to get unstuck, and moving past those roadblocks that's preventing her from getting started, and building her confidence, at the same time, and letting her know that, hey, you are worthy, to others. You owe it to yourself to, invest in you and pour back into yourself, and to not forget that. That's my main reason for, wanting to start the membership.
That's awesome. So, have you ever worked with a business coach before?
Not one on one. I've had a few discovery sessions, and I am looking to get to that point. I'm looking one for myself, because I've been able to, over the past few years, I've been able to see myself and Lady CEO growing, and I know that I can only get me so far, and I know that I will need, eventually, a business coach for Lady CEO and for myself, and to even just help me to, be able to help, other women. Maybe it's some things that I need to write out, or that I have in my head that I need to just get out, and that I can break it down, into smaller steps for women that are just, starting their business, or just, the 9 to 5 girl who was just like me, that, that's coming home from 9 to 5 and working on the business and not telling anybody, until she leaves the job. That was me.
Right.
But so maybe those things are, I have those things, but there's some other things that I need to get through to get to that point. So I'm definitely looking forward to working with a business coach.
Awesome. So we're about to do some business coaching right now.
All right.
Because the thing that I teach in my community is really helping people see that they can customize their journey. And the thing that I love about your business is basically you started from skills that you had,
Mhm.
and you started with a desire that you had to make yourself better, and then you move that into how you're going to help somebody else. So there's a lot of people in my community that absolutely are at the beginning stages, or they have very similar beginnings. Because this, what I would say, there's another type of coaching. So I'm a business coach, right? Because I want you to have a legit business. I want you to break that 100K income ceiling. Like, we're doing business. We are respecting ourselves as CEOs, and like we're doing it, right? And there are other people who call themselves like passion coaches or something like that. And it's very similar, where you have an idea and you're passionate about what you're doing. Oh, they call it passion projects. And you take on this
Mhm.
project. It's not necessarily because you're trying to build a business. Like so they kind of coach you in this area of your passion. So I'm kind of taking it a step further, like, absolutely, your business can start from your passion, but we're going to make sure we're always leaning toward how you're going to make money and how you're going to be profitable from doing it.
Yes.
So for my community, basically that's where she started. She started with passion. She started with a mission that she wanted to fulfill. And then it's like, okay, what do I do? And the thing that you pointed out is you went to Google, like, right? I call with my kids, we call it Uncle Google. So you just go ask Uncle Google what is going on, and you came up with a whole profession, like a whole career change is what you found on Google. So that's super awesome. So that's the first thing that you did right, is you explored where you could go next. And the thing we pointed out is you didn't stay stuck in what that degree told you to do, because that degree absolutely told you to go get a master's and go get a doctorate, be licensed, open your practice. And they also told you owed other companies time for you to be trained and learn and all this. So like you knew the road ahead of you and you just said, no, I want to do something else, and jumped off, right?
Right.
Um, so that's a really great testimonial. And then now you're adding in that you were working a 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
So can you share with us, like, what did you determine was your indicator of when you were going to be comfortable to leave that 9 to 5 for your business?
Um, Well, I come from the teaching background. So I started out with substitute teaching, and then I was moved up to paraprofessional or teacher's aide, some know. And then I actually moved into a classroom on my own. And that feeling remained the same. I was always, the one in the building that the both adults and the children would come to. I would have students from other classrooms come, oh, hey, or coming just to give me a hug, or, wanting to vent. Even the teachers, they would come and they would vent or ask questions. And I said, there's something, it's gotta be something with this. I love teaching the academic part, but I always had this more excited emotion about listening, and about helping them get through and navigate through, whether it was their struggles, or something that happened at home before they came to school, both adults and children. So that feeling always remained the same. And I had shared with my husband, I said, this is something that I really want to do. And I know that I'm called to it. I don't know what it's called yet, but I know it's something outside of counseling. It's not counseling. It's something else. And so during the summer, I didn't work that summer, and I attended a class, and I said, yes, this is life coaching. This is what I want to do. And I held on to that little secret for a little while, and started my page. And I said, I like this. I really like this. And then I kind of had to hit home personally. I had a medical issue, an emergency medical issue that I had to take care of right away. And I was starting to miss more days from work. And I said, see, this is why I need my own business, because I can set my hours, not just around me medically, but around what I am called to do. And maybe I can work on a bigger project, throughout the day versus in the classroom. Nothing wrong with being in the classroom. I enjoyed being in the classroom. I'm grateful for the opportunity, but this is it, I realized that it hit me harder than, it just really hit me hard.
All right. So you gave a really good picture of like why you got started, and the fact that you were working and they had the medical kind of emergency, which none of us want. And whether it's medical emergency or life happening or whatever it is, a lot of us get thrown off the
Mhm.
path that we thought we were on. And then
Most
we're kind
definitely.
of stuck with like, either I'm going to kind of just sit in this or I'm going to like finally do the thing that I want to do. So um, that medical emergency turned into how you started your business. So could you tell us like how you actually got started? Because I think you told me your first um, product or service that you offered was coaching, like to local people, like you went into coaching women. So can you tell me like what you were doing with them?
So yeah, so I started out with just some girlfriends that I was close with, and just made it felt like it was girl chat, girl time, like how we're doing, and
Mhm.
just really asking them. They were really, coming to me, and asking me, hey, aren't you a life coach, and aren't you, helping others to, get started, and I need help with this, or I'm struggling with this, and I say, I just took it on, basically, and just said, why don't you do this, and just, or have you thought about, X, Y, and Z, and they were like, "Oh no, that sounds good," and then just being able to see them get results, and get on back on track, and just really feeling better about themselves, confidence wise as well, and so it grew from there, and I wanted to just make more of an impact, and so I got created my page, and just now I'm on Instagram and learning about Instagram and connecting to, a wider audience, than just my close circle of friends, or ones that know me, people that know me, and so yeah, so that's where I've picked up from there, and just really that's how the goals are. My goals are just really just to, widespread lady CEO, and just try to, turn it into a membership program to where it's helping more women, not just locally, but anywhere in the world.
So you were doing the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I'll point out is I talk about this all the time. Coaching is such an easy place to start, right? Because you knew kind of what you wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But when you were able to do those coaching sessions, and these are kind of your words, it allowed you to hear their side of like
Yes.
where they were struggling, what they needed help with right there. And you met the need of that individual person.
Yes.
The thing that is also so awesome about that is you had your medical condition. I'm sure you had to work around whatever your schedule and how your life was starting to change and kind of
Mm-hmm.
dictate when you were available. And
Mm-hmm.
so you could just go to a simple like planner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably why you have all your journals and your planners. But the fact is, I want you guys to hear that she took control of saying, I'm going to start this business. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
starting with a lot. And I know, whether this is your story or not, a lot of people, the biggest reason why we have debt in this country is because of medical, things like whether that causes a loss of a job, whether that just also just increases our bills, just even the expenses of us now recovering. Like there's so many things, right? And so what I hate is when people say, so that's the reason why I can't do it. I'm like, no, that's
Mm-hmm.
the inspiration of why you have to figure out how to make it fit for your life. And so
Yes.
you went to this, like, this is the simplest thing. Because you can mark on here and say, look, I got a doctor's appointment on Monday,
Yes.
like standing Monday, standing Thursday. So I can do something possibly on Wednesday and possibly on Saturday. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
book it in. So when people call or when you're talking to them, you already understand I'm available these days.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And
Absolutely.
you were able to build your business from there. So I want you guys to hear that she didn't use her medical condition as an excuse or as
Mm-hmm.
a thing to hold her back. I'm sure for some period of time, it might have actually kind of held you back and you weren't able to do as much. But what I want you guys to hear is coaching is such an easy way, because the other thing that I am able to glean from what you did is you started to learn what people needed from you.
Mhm.
Right. Just the same way that I was talking about, I wrote these things down and I, was able to manifest literally every single thing on that paper. I wasn't even conscious of what I was doing, but you have always been like that. So you are conscious to help people look at their life and to organize themselves to be more productive. So you're listening for that, right? So I guess, do you have anything else to add about kind of how you went from the coaching sessions to the journals?
Just to really, once someone has written in their journals, they can truly, with the coaching questions, that's why I added the questions in there, to just kind of guide them, but also lead them back. Maybe, hey, this is what I'm really struggling with, just to see their strengths and weaknesses. And just saying, hey, this is what I'm strong in, or this is what I truly need help with. And just, okay, let's reflect back on your journal. What was it that you wrote in your journal that maybe was an area that you need to work in? And let's see what strengths you have that maybe can be applicable to your weakness, and you not even realizing it just yet. So moving from just the sessions to the journal, I wanted to have something, that middle piece, of just me guiding, but not really giving a full session, but just moving through affirmations and just really breaking down the affirmation to what as maybe a coach would ask in a session, or just to kind of get the ball rolling to even
Yes.
create a coaching session.
Yes.
Yes.
So
So
you
you
definitely like took all the right steps of
Thank you.
understanding, because the coaching is going to give you clarity about what your clients are actually looking for.
Yes.
And then from there, you took the next step to build a tool that they can use to reach the goal that you were helping them to achieve, which was being more productive. And what I love that you say all the time is going from idea to impact, right? Or
Mhm.
from like saying, this is what I want, to realizing it, whatever that
Mhm.
is. So you listened to them, you heard their side, you understood what they needed, and you created the product that was going to help meet their need.
Yes.
I coach a lot of people who literally, they're like, well, how am I going to make money? Let me do this, let me do that. And they start just creating all this stuff. I will raise my hand. I am totally that person too, right? I create all kinds of stuff. Oh, they should do this. Oh, they should do that. And let me write this, and let me write this little master class. But it doesn't, I didn't know what my client needed. I was guessing. I was hoping something was going to work. But I love that you took the time to understand their need and create a product that was going to meet their need. And then you were able to use it in your sessions, or if they weren't paying you for sessions, they could just get the book. And so it
Yes.
kind of gave, like, you could start with journals, or you can work with me and then add the journals, and so it like
Mhm.
worked together.
Yes.
Yes, that is so 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 awesome. And then your next goal is to have that membership, because now what you're going to add is, I talk to her, I'm
Mhm.
working on this every day, and
Mhm.
then the membership is going to add that next component of community,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because I'm also in a place of like launching a brand new community. I've been doing business coaching for a while. I know each one of my clients is awesome and amazing, like on their own, right? But when they come together, I already in my head know how much power is in community. When you're
Mhm.
watching other people be able to do the same, not the same exact thing, but just see that they're moving, they're taking
Mhm.
steps, they're pushing past their fears. Um, and even just watching the progress, it pulls you out of yourself so that you too will start to do the same thing. So what are some of the other reasons why you're looking forward to like this membership group?
One is accountability. Just being there for women, and for the other women. Just all of us being in a good connection, in a good circle, based on similar interests, and just helping each other get through that, get through our weaknesses or questions that we may have, or just really helping to build the confidence, and seeing and allowing them to see, and learn about, hey, that's a new idea, just to get some fresh ideas. Maybe they're thinking about it, one way, but when you add another perspective, it's a total game changer. Maybe they can help, really uncover some other things that they didn't know that they were strong in, and help, also uncover and get comfortable with being uncomfortable, with some things that, they may struggle with. But it's like a ladder, just really climbing that ladder, to really being successful. That's one thing. Accountability, well, too, the connection and building the circle, and just really having others, just doing kingdom work. That's the foundation of it. I just want to just help as many women as God have for me designed to help, just to get them, on a better path, like how I started out. Just, not always struggling, but not always being confused, but getting confused, and just to help them with a similar background to win. And even through their losses, just know that there is a win inside of the loss. It's a lesson to be learned, and what can they take from that lesson, and to just put it into whatever they have, that may need, that to meet their need.
Yes, that is so awesome and definitely needed. Um, I'll share with I'll share this with you. It was a step that I took, kind of what might help you bridge yourself from like where you are now to that membership. But you can also do group coaching, because one, it'll start teaching you how to manage groups. Um, However, a lot of people run memberships very differently, so you could have the group coaching totally set up to be a membership. The difference is, even just by just basics of pricing. Groups, typically you pay like one fee, and it's for a set amount of time, and they're committed to that like very defined time frame. Whereas a membership, they're paying a monthly fee typically, for them to continue to be involved with the group. So before, I mean, you could totally be ready for this, but for most people, they have to get to a point where they're ready to deliver content and deliver, that accountability on a regular, ongoing basis. So usually I recommend people working with a group, because sometimes people are okay to just pay whatever the fee is. They know I have this certain amount of time I can dedicate and focus. And it depends on your audience too. Like, I work with brand new entrepreneurs. Some of them are just like, I don't know. And I'm like, you can commit for 9 weeks, or you can commit for this long, and they can agree to that. But if you're saying like, do it, long term, the thing that they like about the membership though is usually the price point is a little lower, because you're paying a recurring fee.
Mm-hmm.
But for you as the business owner, you can decide how you're going to run your membership. Absolutely, you can. But sometimes those group sessions is kind of a good midpoint, if you're not quite ready to launch the membership, that you can do group. And it allows you to start thinking about what are the reasons why, the same way you did the group sessions, the individual sessions, and came up with like, here's the tool that I'm going to give them. When you do the group sessions, you can start to think, what is it that I'm going to do or offer that's going to cause them to want to stay in a community and keep coming back? The other big difference with membership groups is that you do have to be prepared to deliver constantly, make sure that they are working and growing in your environment. Otherwise, they leave. right? And we don't want that. We want them to come and stay, even if you know it's typical that they'll be here with you for 1 year or whatever it is, but you want to make sure that they're still moving toward a result. So kind of, I was given that, for general knowledge as well. You have to be ready to do that. I have been coaching for quite a long time, and I will say organizing myself to run a membership group has totally pulled a whole new side of me as like an entrepreneur, because it was like, I have to manage this. I don't want to overcomplicate it, but I want to give you enough options. Like, so where's the middle ground in that? So it's all exciting. I am super grateful that you joined me today to share your story and to really kind of talk about how you've built your business. Was there anything else that you really wanted to share with my community and yours that will be watching us?
Just remember that you are the CEO. That's how I developed Lady CEO. You are the CEO in every role that you portray. Whether you're a daughter, wife, mom, boss, aunt, sis, you are the CEO, and you have to, self-care is important, and you are priority. You have the ability to hire, fire, and promote accordingly to balancing your life, and just really that self-care is a priority, because when you give yourself the best, you're able to give the best version of yourself in every role that you portray.
Yes, that's so awesome. So as you were talking, and especially because you're more in the life coaching world and the productivity, so I kind of was hearing like the CEO of your life, right? So it's coach, lady, CEO, but you coach lady CEOs who are the CEOs of their life. And I think getting your journals and participating in your sessions is absolutely their way to be the boss that they know they're supposed to be and start seeing the results that you want to see. That's what this is all about, right? We can write in our journals as much as possible, but you need to take the steps necessary to see this thing through. Yes. So you guys make sure that you check out her page on Instagram, follow, go over there and learn some things, but become the CEO of your life. And for a lot of you who are building your businesses in a similar way, I would love for you guys to comment here, and we will definitely be responding to your questions or your comments, or how you have used these same tools and techniques, or if you're aspiring to use them. We definitely want to hear from you guys. So thank you so much for being with us for virtual hangouts. This is Coach Lady CEO, Miss Beverly. Thank you so much. I appreciate it having you today as a guest.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. All right. You guys have a great day.